Hi, I'm Michael, and today I'm going to explain how to install SQL Server 2022 on Windows. If you like this content and would like to see more, please like and subscribe. Alright, let's get to it. Go to my browser. Search for SQL Server 2022. Download. Find the Microsoft link. So it looks like it has the SQL Server Azure, has the SQL Server Edge, and it has the SQL Server on-premise. I think I'm going to look for the on-premise. Let's see, Developer Edition. That's one we're going to go for. The Developer Edition basically has everything that the Enterprise has, except for it's free. It shouldn't be used for anything other than development. So any production stuff will need to be licensed. Express, it can be used for free, but it does have a lot of limitations, like lack of memory and CPU. Alright, looks like it is downloaded. We will allow it to make changes. Here it's going. Let's see. We'll do the basic install with the engine and default configuration. Select a custom installation with type. Choose what you install. Takes longer. Download media. Files, install them later on machine of choice. So we're just going to go with custom. Most of the time I would go ahead and if I were using a production server, I would probably change the media that I'm going to put at, but wouldn't keep everything on the C drive. Alright, and so we will go, let's see, download size, minimum free space, install. Oh, this is just showing the actual install package. It's a little bit different than the usual ones. Let's go look to see if that's on there. I think it was on C / SQL 2022. So it looks like it over to the C drive. And let's go in here. Now we see in setup file. Let's run that. run. And this bad boy will pop up. So now we have the SQL Server Installation Center. We'll run over to the installation. You'll look for the new SQL Server standalone installation or add features to an existing installation. We don't have an existing one, so we will do the standalone. For this video, I'm just going to do we're going to do the developer, so we don't need a product key. We're not going to pay through Azure, accept the licenses. Alright, so it's giving you a heads up that the Windows firewall is enabled for the ports to be open. I think we should probably be good. If not, then I'm going to install a SQL Server default or yeah, a default instance. So I'm not going to use the named instance. So that should just be port 1433 and also I believe 1434 for some ports. So we'll continue. Uh, Install Azure extension for SQL Server. Provide your Azure account. SQL Server Principal ID. We don't have any of that. We'll just go next. And we're just going to install the basic SQL Server engine. We're not going to install anything else. Looks like integration services is an option on here. It has a few other things. If you're doing transactional replication, you got replication right here. You got your full text semantic extraction searches, your data quality search, your polybase query service. But I think for what I need it for, I'm just going to do the basic. Let's see. I say I don't have a D drive. Usually I throw it on a D drive. I'm going to keep it on the C because this is a laptop and doesn't have the option to change it. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, as I said, I'm going to stay with the default instance. And it's going to take a few minutes to get over here. Alright, there it is. You can, I think best practices is usually if you have some kind of Windows login, a service account, you use your domain name and then you can name it whatever you need to as long as it's an AD, and those are probably a better way to do this. I don't have any of those for this, so I'm going to keep it. I will change the startup type from manual to auto. That way, whenever the SQL Server agent goes, it's automatically going to start up. And if you ever have any issues, you're wondering why your jobs aren't running or your notifications aren't kicking off, it's probably because it's been rebooted and your agent's down still if you haven't changed it from manual to automatic. So we'll change that. We will grant perform volume maintenance task. This will help enable instant file initializations to avoid zeroing data pages. So turn that on. We will go on. We won't mess with the collation. We're going to go to mixed mode authentication. Just add yourself a password. Give it a basic one. You can add yourself on there if you want. Add current user. You might not have anything in there. access data engine. All right, so we're changed right there. We will go to data directories. We will use, oh, this password is going to be for your SA account. Let's go to data directories. Usually I would change this as well. I would change it to some other drive. I like to keep, uh, you know, one drive for my data files and another one for my log files. And then this is where your default backups are going to be if you have want them to go somewhere. Specifically, if you click backup, it'll pop up as the default location. We're just going to keep it on the C since I don't have any really other options. It's going to bring it down to this Microsoft 16. All right. Number of files. This is going to go based off of how many CPU you have. Go. So it'll create a TempDB for that. That way each CPU or core could have access to one temp DB file. So it'll help not be the issue. No, I don't really need these this large. I'll do 50. We'll change these larger if they need to be. In production, this is just all right. So keep that not to be the bottleneck with all four of those. Then next we will go to your MaxDOP. This goes off the number of CPU you have as well. So it says you have 4 CPU on here. So it's going to allow your CPUs to, all 4 of them could be used for one query. I personally don't like to do that. I usually keep them around 2. If that does become a bottleneck and I see that there are a lot of issues with that, then I will increase it, but I really doubt this one needs that, and I don't want to take up all of the CPU for one query. It could maybe I have a few queries going, and I want both of them to be able to run at the same time. Let's go. All right. So I've got, say, 11. Have about 11 gig of memory. Usually I'll set this to 1000. I'll keep it lower. I really don't need too much. I'll have a small database, and I'll keep this to, most of the time I'll keep it a little bit smaller than the amount of memory I have. So if I have 12 gig of memory, I'd probably give it about 10 to give the operating system a little bit of wiggle room. If I see that the operating system is needing more, then I'll lower it, the max. If I do see, and then if it does need more, then I'll probably have more memory added to that machine and raise this back up. But I usually want to leave the operating system just a little bit of wiggle room. This is the minimum amount of memory that it's going to be allowed to go once it reaches that, because at first when you reboot your computer you're going to have 0, so it has to get back up to half a gig in the first place. But once it hits half a gig, your 500 megabytes, it's going to stay right there, and it's not going to be able to go below there because of this memory minimum server memory setting right here. And then we'll set this to about uh, 3 gig, and you have to click this to accept the memory configs, and we will hit the next, and we will do install, and this should take a few minutes. I'll just go ahead and start up Management Studio so we can use that. Um, Management Studio. I've got, so in my prior video, I had a SQL Server Management Studio install. It was a pretty quick video, but that'll show you how to get this installed. And you can, if you need that, hop back over here and finish up. Watch this one again to make sure you have everything installed. One thing is with uh, the newer SQL Server since about, I think it's 2016, basically it's not Management Studio is no longer included in the SQL Server installs. So it kind of requires you to install it separately, which is nice because if you do want to go install, you don't have to go get the full file, the full SQL Server install. You can just get a much smaller package for the download. And it looks like it's about complete. All right, so there it is. One or more affect files have operations pending. You must restart your computer after the setup process is completed. Okay. So now it's wanting you to reboot the computer. We'll reboot it here in a little bit. Uh, First of all, I'm going to verify that it is installed. So that didn't populate it. I'm going to use the name. You can use, since you can use your local computer or local host, and it will pop up right here. So localhost is your computer, and it's going to use whatever authentication you have. Currently, it's my desktop authentication. Uh, you have no databases so far, but you have your agent. You have basically everything you do in enterprise version. Uh, let's see. Let's show. This is and here is the SQL Server Configuration Manager. This is where you'll configure your services if you need to start and stop it. You can basically go over here and reboot them, stop it, start it, and so on. If you if you see that this is turned off, this is just the browser. This is actually just because you don't need this to be in, you don't need this to be on unless you have a named instance. There might be some other reasons you might turn it on, but named instances for different ports other than 1433, you'd probably need it. Or if you have multiple instances on the same server, then you'll need the browser on to help you detect which ones it is. But this service doesn't need it for default because it's assuming that you're not going to install more than one SQL Server instance. Anyways, that's about all I have for you guys. If you guys like this content, please like and subscribe. and have a good day.